My keyboard's buggered here. I've got to fix the keyboard on the laptop. I've got to.
There was something in the Miles.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Julie Phelps joins us from north of Watford.
Yeah, I'm a northerner.
Yeah, you
No,
speak like that. So
I do.
what's the we're sort of doing we're doing a bit of an
Well,
update.
it's a bit of a quick
Yeah.
update,
So here we are.
but it's really positive actually. Friday, I was out on a mission and it was really successful.
Fridays seem to be your mission day.
Oh, it does. It does seem to be. I'll see what happens next Friday, but it's whenever needed. So I'd gone out earlier that night, and I generally every night I look out, see if I can see the Palladian ships. And quite often I can if I call them, if I psychically connect with them. But Friday night I saw a spherical ship. I was kind of remote viewing it a bit, and yeah, it was Draco. But I was seeing beams aiming at it and firing at it, and so I thought, oh, and then I got a communication. Yep, you'll be on. You'll be on missions very shortly. So, so anyway, so I came in, and later on, I was on a mission. But it's really going well. There's not many people being, should we say, abducted or harvested, as it were. So it's really good.
The old harvesting thing. So.
Yeah. So
Now,
the production's really high, so it's great. I did remote view a few that got it. But they were from China, and between us and friends, it was about 4,500, which is, when you think how many people are dying from the corona and things like that, that's not many. So it's pretty much stopped.
That's 4,500 harvested humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very small.
Cutting to the chase. Do you know John Walson?
No.
John Walson. John gets lots of good, fairly good quality, but still fuzzy pictures of huge fecking ice stations up on low Earth orbit. In other words, he's able to focus his telescope so that they hide using the stars.
Yeah, they do.
So they'll park between us and the stars, and obviously parked close to us makes it what you would call, in terms of relative optical range, a macro lens. So he's made his telescope into a macro lens, so it's able to focus close, i.e. a few hundred miles, as opposed to at infinity. He adjusted John Lear's telescope to do that quite recently. Do you know who John Lear is?
Yeah, I've got his Facebook friend. Yeah, John.
Yeah. So good old John. Now, what he's just published on Facebook is a triangular type craft, very thick triangular craft, with a sort of a bulbous, sort of like cockpit type thing. That's a pretty crude description, but it's not a lean black craft, thin. This is quite thick.
That might be kind of a lower level craft, really. Pretty basic.
This is in the atmosphere.
Yeah, but it's like, that's not really the high tech ones. I mean, they've had.
Geez, excuse me. I'll cut you up. Yeah, explain that, please. Yeah, okay. I didn't have you cut up like an idiot.
They do have the ones even that are jets that are that shape, that have got jet engines in.
So that's air breathers. They're in the atmosphere.
Yeah, it could well be. Unless I see a picture, I can't really say.
Well, maybe I'll send that to you, and if I'd prepared for this, I could have sort of sent it to you ahead of time. This watch is only saying 2:15. This is my new watch. Okay.
Very nice. It's daylight saving time, so that's why you watch.
So the thing is, you can see where the reason why I threw my last Q-Shock watch out when the battery ran out, I said, "Bugger this! I'm not going to bloody bother." Can you see the hour hand anywhere there?
No.
Yeah, exactly. It's so dark. If you can't see this in brilliant sunshine, it's actually pointing just after 2:00.
Oh right.
Which means no, it's no. Let's see. Yeah, no, you'll not see it.
It's
It's
just, yeah.
dark red. And I looked at this in the shop, and like everything else you buy in the shop, they've got really bright lights, and I said, "Oh, I can see that in the middle of the night." So I can now see what time past the hour it is, but I'll still not have a bloody clue what actual hour it is, which is what the last one was. If you touched the last one, it shifted time zones. So you never knew what time it was.
Yeah.
So
So
that
on
kind
with
of,
that.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. Carrying on with that, there's a lot of positivity going on. And today, with connecting consciousness, we've got a rolling meditation. And what we mean by that is in the UK, we started it at 12 noon. And, and it's focusing on raising the vibration of the planet to fifth dimension, not focusing on negating the coronavirus, because one outweighs the other frequency. So it's a really good idea to focus on the higher frequencies, a bit like a spring clean. But the way it's operating is everybody's doing it who's participating, doing it at 12 o'clock their local time. So that means that as it rolls, it's like a rolling thunder, but in a positive way. So as it rolls around the planet, because there's people in Australia, in every country, it's like a positive
Even
wave.
Australians?
Yeah.
Even
Even
bloody
the
Australians?
yeah.
Jesus, Jesus.
I got lots of friends that are Australian.
Well, I've got lots of friends, but I mean, God, being Australian, that's a hell of a thing. God, they're going to love me.
Yeah, they've got to hang on, aren't they? Because they're upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for the flat earthers. Oh, I shouldn't say that, should I? That's politically
God,
incorrect,
that's you
probably.
excommunicated already.
Yeah, I'm done for now for that
God, I
one.
can't say that. You'd have to be a Catholic to be excommunicated. Then it gets far too bloody complicated. Okay, now the thing about seriously, the thing about these meditations, I mean, during the week on Thursday, we had, I think it was Thursday, we had let's have everybody clap at 8 o'clock.
Mm.
Now, the thing that some observers, and I have to say myself included, the nasties are not getting their loosh. They're not getting their loosh from football and big open air concerts. We're all locked down, we're all separated, and they're not getting this energy, this life force from us. So I think the NHS little thing, let's all clap for the NHS, was an attempt to give them a little bit of energy. Well, maybe it did happen. Or was it an attempt so they get a little bit of loosh through the BBC and keep
Well,
them
it's
sort
all
of
about
happy?
attention to the. I mean, in a way, that is a positive, but as you say, it can be subverted into a negative. So I'm not sure about that one, but it's about bringing people together. So if it brings people together in that respect, in a positive way, then really it's a fairly positive act. But and in a way, it's negating some of the. I mean, we're getting all the bombardment of the figures of this and figures of that. Well,
Yeah.
I've stopped looking actually, so don't ask me how many. It's just like,
I mean, has the other thing is, I mean, I'm addressing this negative aspect directly. Are the large scale hospitals and things, i.e., the Excel Centre, is that essentially something that the Draco would be very keen on if they were coming here and if that
oh,
was actually happening? That's a nice
yeah,
place
it
to pick up
would
a lot of
they
people.
would be, but to be quite honest, the way things are going, it's looking extremely positive that very, very few, if any, are getting through. So at the moment, it's great. You know what I mean? The energy, the Palladians and everything, they're really defending,
It's
and
the everything I'm interested in,
so
the Pleiadians and everything. Who's the everything?
well, involved now are like I've had a meeting with like the higher council. The higher council tends to meet on another planet in it's
Well, if they met
uh,
here, they'd be
Kepler
Bilderbergers or
region.
something, wouldn't they?
It's a Kepler region, and it's like it's a higher dimensional planet, so you won't see it with the telescopes. And it's very crystalline, like the cities there are very crystalline. There's no negativity there, and it's kind of a safe haven, and it's where benevolent beings meet. They've decided to meet to decide to be assigned to different planets to actually support different planets that are trying to break free, or that need their or support people in raising their vibration, or beings. I mean, it's not just this planet. There's other
I
planets.
have to say, Star Wars went out on ITV. That's about the Rebel Alliance winning. Do you think there's any connection there? This is one of the
Oh,
first of the new Star Wars ones.
we're definitely going to win. I've got no doubt at all, because there's so many different beings now involved. Now, I don't give them names. Like, I mean, they say Palladians, but they're not really called Palladians. It's just they're from the Pleiades, some of them, but not all of them. But most alien or ET beings, they use light names and things like that. So we can't pronounce them. We can't even replicate the frequency very easily. So you can't say exactly what they are. But sometimes they'll communicate with somebody, and somebody will have a name in the mind, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm such and such," and that's just so that they can relate. So they could call them Michael or some other name, but that's not their actual name. It's just a name given so that people can relate and understand that it's a being, because they literally don't communicate in that way. And of course, you communicate psychically anyway. So when you're talking to one, you focus on the one. If you want to talk to more than one, you expand your focus. So it's just different than here. But people are becoming more psychic here, right? And some of the kids are becoming more psychic.
Very much
So
so. And that's
uh,
a big deal, that.
yeah, yeah, it is a big deal. Um, so we are changing, and the vibration of the planet is changing. So yeah, there may be some more blips that come along, and it may be seem very scary. But it's about keeping your higher vibration. It's about riding that roller coaster, because we're going to come out the other end of this. It's not Armageddon and that, because there's too much at stake. There's too much happening now, too many other beings involved. But yeah, we're going to have some more different tests and trials and things. The negative are going to try other things because they're getting really desperate now.
Like
Um,
rollout of 5G. I mean, there's a big deal
yeah,
about
well,
that. A lot of masts going up in places, people getting very alarmed. In fact, in one village, I got told this morning that somebody's creosoted the trees. Now, that's a lot of creosote. You just don't go around with a bucket and put a bit of creosote on a tree trunk. This has gone right into the trees. Obviously, that's going
right,
to really harm the tree. I
yeah,
mean,
it's so toxic.
what these antennas that are going up, Extinction Rebellion saying we are the virus, not it. Not Corona is not the virus. We are, or you
They're,
are.
they're influenced, aren't they, by the elite? So uh, the Extinction Rebellion, well, by name, by nature, uh, except they're just uh, take away the second name and extinction. They're just after extinction. They
Well,
want
I understand
absolute
they have
destruction.
officially denied that now. That wasn't one of them, but it's their logo, which is a reverse logo. It is a dangerous logo, like
I
the
mean, I
Nazi
suppose there's a lot of
swastika.
well-meaning people in the movement, but they don't realise how a lot of these movements start off really positive, but they're subverted, they're infiltrated, and then they're slowly changed to become negative. And that movement is negative.
Well,
No two ways around
Extinction
it.
started off. The people running it
Because
are very,
what do you do if you're in a movement that's about the environment? What's the first thing I would do if I was in started a movement about the environment? I say, let's plant more trees. Let's stop these trees being cut. Let's plant more trees. That's it. That would be my top priority. Then from there, all the other environmental things. That's what I focus on. Not, oh, well, can we stop people driving around? Can we stop people in the street, ordinary people? You know, can we just vaguely say nothing? Just climate change. It's like,
I
no,
mean, now
that's
they're not.
not
Now that
very,
we're not heating up, they've converted to climate change.
mm,
Then
exactly.
the heating up thing is something that's just a natural cycle anyway. But that's the 2,400 year cycle. But this is an update about the current events.
Mm,
So you've been
exactly.
flying, and now it mentioned that. I mean, I was pressurizing Julie to come and give us an update twice a week, but she rebuffed my demands and said,
I
"Oh, you
didn't
only do
rebuff.
once
I
a
was
week."
getting negative. So we call them compliments now. We're trying to change them around. What do you call it? Transmute it, because I've given up saying they're negative attacks. They're just challenges or
Transmutate the negative energy to positive energy.
yeah, yeah. So every time I do something, there's normally something tries to get back at me, no matter what I do. So and I'm supporting other people as well. It's not just what I'm doing here. I'm doing a lot of things behind the scenes. This is like a little bit extra, just to keep people a little bit
Well,
informed.
if you don't do the work in the back office, things just don't get done, do they?
No, exactly. Exactly. But I've also got additions to my family, which I might show as a positive thing.
Oh,
I've got I've got I've got hatchlings of like quail.
oh,
I've got like,
wonderful.
would you believe, I got 24 quail eggs, and I've been having them in the incubator. And most people online say, oh, you only get 8 or 9. I've already got 17, so that's pretty good going. It's like, oh wow. And I've got 3 chickens. I'm gonna get one out.
Now, prepare to have an awe moment.
Yeah. Right. So, oh, I'm gonna make sure I can't see it very well because it's
Oh,
like
yeah. Oh, wonderful.
the little cute little things. I've got to watch they can jump, so I've got to be careful a little bit that they don't
A bit
jump.
higher.
A bit higher.
Yeah.
I'll try
Ah,
so that they don't
oh,
jump.
it's too low. No, you're below the. Ah, there it is. Oh, wonderful.
So they're my little babies, and
Isn't
I've
that?
got.
And how many of those you got?
I've only got. They're only literally a couple of days old, so I better put you back.
And what do they eat? And how did you do this?
Well, I've got an incubator, and I got the eggs through the post, literally, and
So these are
basically,
fertilized eggs, and not eggs you'd pick up
yeah.
at your local butcher.
No, they're fertilized eggs. You send for fertilized eggs, and a fantastic hatch rate. So I've been watching them. I've got a video of them, the first one hatching, and I've got other videos of them coming out the eggs and everything. So, and it's just like I knew what was going to happen here, the lockdown and everything beforehand, and I thought I'll prepare to help me as well psychologically. Some new life coming in,
Yes.
some really positive
Now, will
things.
they produce their own eggs and things? I mean, are you planning to have them, harvest their eggs? God.
Yeah, I've already got 3 chickens. I've got them about a week ago, and they're giving me eggs every day. And
Wow.
I'll be sharing with neighbours. I've decided I'm
Yeah.
going to share with neighbours, so I'm going to give eggs away because,
Well, there's only so many omelets you can have every morning.
oh, exactly, and they'll be non-fertile eggs. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do because I believe in, like, as a situation
Now,
occurs, share with neighbours.
are you advising that people should start doing this as a whole, because this lockdown is going to go on for quite some time, a year or more? I mean, we're looking ahead on this.
Yes, just, well, I've always wanted to do it. So in a way, it's just fulfilling something I want to do. So like we were talking about last week about focusing on things you'd like to do, positive things, and that's one of the positive things I focused on.
So last week we were interrupted by the dog.
And I'm getting interrupted
Now
now.
you're being interrupted by the little birdies.
And I'm getting interrupted.
Well, there we are.
So I'm going to go and that's it.
Great. I wonder if the dog. This is just so wonderful. By the way, I've got 2 Toshiba satellite laptops, which are getting a bit agey. If anybody has got any plastic bits for them, like keyboards, that would help. I just did a little bit of a shout out there. Okay. So, have you put them outside? Oh, the dog. You brought the dog in.
Yeah, I just brought the dog in. No, they're inside. They're still under a heat lamp because they're too young. They're only a couple of days old, so it's been
And
rather
what do you
magic.
feed them on? I mean,
It's chick feed, so it's like chick crumb. That's what they call it. Big sacks of it. So there's plenty. They've got plenty because it's got to be very fine for them because they're so small.
Yes.
But it's easy. Chickens are definitely easy to keep. I've got a chicken coop, and it's just so simple to keep chickens. And I've never done that before either, but I'm learning.
So by day you're keeping quail chicks and chickens, and by night you're out fighting a good fight in the secret space program.
It's about a balance. It's about grounding myself with the elementals, Gaia, Mother Earth, and because it really helps psychologically as well. As things are occurring around the planet, and yes, I get rather tired going out at night as well. But luckily, it's not every night.
Well, I've got a neighbor. I've got a next door neighbor, not the immediate back next door neighbor, back door neighbor. It's just off to the left. And they've got chickens. They've got black chickens, and there's a black cockerel ended up walking around in my garden, and the lovely lady from that house had to come here with her daughter and run around and pick it up and take it away. I have to be very careful how I phrase this, having a black cockerel
Yeah,
walking about, and they were able to. Do I see a laughter there? So they took it away and they'd actually clipped the wings so it shouldn't be able to get over. Unfortunately, I had to take down a eucalyptus tree which had grown double the height last summer. So its lower branches were what it used to sort of get back. So anyway, that's talking about birdies here. We're going to talk
yeah.
about the bees as well. Anyway, so just rounding off this fast blast update. What's the big message? What's the thing that you wanted to really make sure you got through today?
Really positive. It's about doing anything you can while you're on lockdown that raises your vibration because it really does have a ripple effect, like throwing a pebble in a pool. The ripples of positivity really do spread, and it's more powerful than the negative. So that's really the message, and we're winning the battle. So I can keep an update to see how the Palladians and other beings are doing with the Draco, but at the moment it's really positive. And like clearing energy in your house, like doing a spring clean, things like
Well,
that. It all helps to keep the negative away. And I use chimes as well to clear energy because frequencies really.
yes. Yeah, you can get the little round ones, the Tibetan ones that look like flying saucers, and going around with those is very important. Yeah, that's it. I've got those. I've got a
Yeah.
set.
So I've got those, but I literally do this all the time. I do recitations and all different things because I do get a lot of negative sent my way. But yeah, it transmutes it, and I get a lot of positive. So basically, it's focusing on the positive.
I mean, would
That's the main.
and use sage or something like that as well?
Oh yeah, I burn sage, things like that, definitely.
Now, what effect
And
does that actually have? What does that do to
well,
to get things away
there's
or
something
what?
magical about sage. I bless it to the four directions, and then and burning it. It really helps get rid of gin and things like that, or any negativity. But you need to crack a window or something because it got to have the negative go out a window or door, whatever. You need some sort of
What do you mean
uh,
crack a window? I mean, just
just
have it
just
open?
just have it open. Yeah, you don't have to have it open very wide, just as long as it's open. All this is practical. I've actually done all this quite a few times now. But it's a bit like some of the priests, the positive priests, and they're not all bad, that have done exorcisms and things and do that a lot. They tend to get hounded a lot by the negative too, so they have to practice a lot of cleansing and things like that. Because the more you support a lot of people that have got negative attachments and things like that, the more they tend to then sort of aim their fire back at you or try to. So
It's only logical for that. I mean, if you're obviously getting rid of them, but so what's you're talking about the rolling meditation with connecting consciousness, or is that a direct? Is that a connecting consciousness initiative, or
yes,
is it some? Yeah.
Simon Parks brought that forward. He told us last night, um, about you need to sort of keep it pretty close to when you're doing it, because you don't give the opposition too much time to counteract something like that. So it's best to sort of leave it to the last minute if possible, or as close as you can, to actually put forward meditations and things, because the more preparation time you do, the more they can counter it, or so, and you've got to be careful what days you do it and things like that. I know Simon's fully aware what days are the best days to do it, and today, yeah, I got huge positivity from it, and
I mean,
I'm still.
we've meant to have had some kind of solar event this weekend. Has that happened?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the solar forecast yet, but
I
it's
mean,
cloud.
my understanding is that the sun is not actually active, but I haven't looked recently. But I
Right.
have noticed a strange effect with the sun is that it's a little bit monopolar in the terms of the light,
Mm,
insofar as when you have an eclipse, you've only got the corona light coming, and you have very fine shadows. You don't have a penumbra effect.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
and that has very sharp shadows. And I noticed the other day with the sun that we had very sharp shadows.
Yeah, I noticed a slight difference outside because I've been outside a lot, as much as I can, because, outside in the back garden, not outside walking around everywhere. But
Yeah,
of course, we are allowed to take a walk a day. Don't
yeah.
say
We'll see how long
where.
that lasts.
Yeah, could do the Pennine Way.
Yeah,
One walk.
yeah. Well, that's it. That's it for Sunday,
Yeah.
the 29th of March. It's important to name the dates. Well, have a nice rest of the day
You too.
and enjoy.
And
And
everybody else. So much love to everybody.
thank you, Julie Phelps. Good.